you serious?
No hesitation on the shot. Mizrahi's feeling it. Make it 3 for 3.
And Ciolino, see you later. Here's a chance for Sayas, and another shot, and a goal! Will Spare will take it all the way! Touchdown Seahawks! The extra look, and the goal! A gorgeous goal by From Sayville on the south side of Suffolk County, it's the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network, where tonight the Golden Flashes of Sayville High School are taking on the Hurricanes of Westhampton in this Suffolk Division III showdown. Good evening, everyone. Dylan Butler here with Mike Hungerford. And Mike, welcome to Suffolk County for a matchup that has traditionally been between two of the top teams. These teams play in big games and big moments. They were in the championship game a year ago. Always a fun battle when Sayville and Westhampton meet.
Thanks for having me out here, Dylan, tonight for the game in Suffolk. First time doing a game in Suffolk County, and as you said, these two teams are traditionally very, very good, and plenty of Hanson Award winners represented from both schools.
There have been, and there will be possibly some more. We'll get to that in a moment. We've got the national anthem coming up, and we'll return with some impact players as starters as well. It's the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
Goes McCarthy.
He's got. He's in.
Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage, and one of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
A beautiful night here out in Sayville. It's Friday night under the lights. It's the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network. It's the 0-2 Hurricanes of Westhampton against the 3-0 Sayville Golden Flashes. Well, Westhampton, they've struggled this year, but when you've got a guy with the last name of Lauby, you're in any game, right? Dylan Lauby, of course, a superstar for Westhampton. His younger brother, Deegan, leading the way. You see he's a senior, had that big kickoff return against East Islip. He's got that same wiggle, Mike, as Dylan did. They're different players, obviously, but a big-time, big impact kind of play is Deegan Lauby.
Sure, certainly we consider one of we said on the screen there, Newsday top 100 players to watch, and he's definitely a one-hit guy, can give you a touchdown whenever you need it, a big kickoff return against East Islip, so gets in the bloodlines. He can make those kind of plays.
And talking about perhaps future Hanson Award winners, how about number 20 here? He's only a freshman, but Kyle Messina already opening eyes. Look at that stat line there. This is out of the quarterback position. He's really more of a running back. He's a linebacker as well. But Messina is a big-time dude right now. 31 carries, 297, and 2 touchdowns. Reed Sands, the head coach of Sayville, says he thinks he will be a multiple-year Hanson Award winner. The next big game right here out of Sayville.
I was driving here today, excited to think about seeing him play. Not too often you see someone who's listed as a freshman. You see in other sports, basketball, you see it in lacrosse, baseball, things like that. Not too often you see a freshman, and the way the coaches at Sayville, who've been around a lot of great players, are talking about him. I think the superlatives are probably based upon what they've seen and what they expect to happen. I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on tonight.
Yeah, big-time player is Messina. A beautiful night under the lights here. It's Westhampton kicking off to Sayville, going left to right on your monitors. Nick Kalauskowitz with the opening kickoff. It's fielded at about the 12-yard line. A nice burst and a return out towards the 37-yard line, which is where Sayville's offense will get going. There you see the golden flashes coming out. Some familiar last names. You've got Sands there, of course. One of two sons of head coach Reed Sands in the starting lineup. That's Charlie, 32. And there is the aforementioned Kyle Messina, number 20 at QB. First and 10 for Sayville. Out of shotgun is Messina, and a little bit of a jump there on that right side, it looked like, of the Westhampton line.
I think on the opening kickoff there, Dylan, the ball got in the hands of Murtha right away, right on the return. It looked like he might have been, it was maybe a touchdown-saving tackle there. I'm not sure. Westhampton wants the ball in his hands off the kickoff, and then they jump off sides here. So 1st and 5 here for Sayville.
Murtha, another one of those legacy names, right? Brock Murtha right now, a baseball standout at Notre Dame. Yes, there's not only one Sayville former great at Notre Dame. 1st and 5 as Messina checks the sideline, looks for the play. Sands now switches to his right hip. Messina takes it himself, gets a block from Sands, and goes down. Looks like he got tripped up a little bit. Hit for a loss. Let's take a look at the starting lineup offensively for Sayville. We mentioned again at QB, you've got Messina, running back Charlie Sands. The wide receivers are Bonfatti, Murtha, and Macchio. Tight end is Delaney. Up front, Gallagher, Gover, Perez, and Ligori. And also, by the way, can't forget, at right tackle is Brendan O'Rourke. Loss of 1 on that play. 2nd and 6. Handoff. Sands bursts forward for some tough yardage out to about the, actually they have him down, it looks like, on the 39. Let's take a look at the Westhampton starters on defense. Up front, you've got Furman, Brown, and Hebert, linebackers of McKeon, Moreland, Noto, and Jurgel. Quarterbacks are Lauby and Pesh, and Arasate and Waskalitz are your safeties. So loss of 2 on that play as well, so a 3rd and 8. Man in motion is Bonfetti. Little wobbler to Sands. He's hit hard at about the 39-yard line. A great defensive stop, Mike, for Westhampton on that first drive.
Well, I'll tell you, they jumped off sides on the first play, and they got off the ball. They've got the ball in every down, even the one they jumped off sides on. But the defensive line of Westhampton, they get off the ball. They had 2 plays playing in Sayville's backfield. I thought Messina kind of fell in the first play, and on the 3rd down here, they tried to throw a little screen, and the linebackers in there, 3-4, they were having none of that. They slipped off the block, and a couple plays, loss of a couple yards by Sayville.
It looks like Westhampton's going to bring it here, try and get the block on the punt, and they nearly did. There will be a flag. It'll be of the 5-yard variety as Westhampton looks to try to return, and not much there for Lauby. Again, there will be the flag. It'll be a roughing, a 5-yard roughing. So this won't remain Sayville's ball.
Yeah, Westhampton was up and up in the gaps there. They had the gaps filled up. They had 10 men on the line of scrimmage. It looked like they were coming. Sayville had an adjustment there, expecting it to come, and they still had a break in. The Westhampton guys coming off the ball pretty hard. And you know, it's one of those when you're the coach, you're like, how do we get there and not get a piece of the ball in the process, right? But they didn't, and, they had to roughing the kicker, punter penalty, but it should only be 5 yards.
You see huddles there for both teams after the penalty, and a conversation here as well.
Interpretation's always critical here, Dylan, right? Is it running into, or is it roughing? I mean, there's a difference there between the 5 and the 15-yard varieties.
Yeah, I said roughing, but I certainly meant to say running into. And when you look at what they were trying to do defensively, as you see there, is the Sayville head coach, Reed Sands, following in the rather giant footsteps, right, of Rob Huss, but he's in his 5th season at a New Utrecht out of Brooklyn, 1993 grad. Reed Sands was a defensive coordinator for Rob Huss, was the offensive coordinator as well now. So after that conversation, Westhampton takes over offensively, and they're pushed back a little bit here, so it's enforced.
I think the discussion, Dylan, was about where the ball would be put, right, and what the situations were. And Coach Sands was given the options. A lot of times they'll talk through the captains, right, but that's one of those situations where I think the head coach wanted to really know what his options were, and they move it back here, so it's Westhampton ball, 1st and 10.
Jeff Arasate, the QB, there you see him, senior for Westhampton's got his guys on the field. 1st and 10 for Westhampton. They motion, little jet sweep, and a great tackle. They got it, it looked like, to Lauby, but he was cut down before he was able to make that turn.
Looks like number 2, Benny Sands there.
Benny Sands, the big-time defensive player. But first, the offensive starters for Westhampton. We mentioned Arasate is your QB, Moreland, the running back. Pizzuko, Kaloran, and Lauby are your wide receivers. Waskalowitz at tight end, Travers, Hebert, Noto, and Shamlafel up front, as well as Andrew Mensch at right tackle. 2nd down. And that ball's batted, so the defense has come up big here in the first series for both teams. Speaking of defense, let's take a look at the Golden Flashes starting defense. You've got Geffner, Gallagher, Gover, and Golio up front. The linebackers of Charlie Sands, Benny Sands, O'Doherty, and Bonfanti. Cantaldi at safety, Murtha at safety as well, Filosa at the other corner. Bonfatti, I mentioned, a linebacker, a corner. 3rd and 14. Arasate under pressure, and he's taken down and sacked. James Gallagher, his 3rd sack of the year.
Really a heavy-duty pressure being put on the ball there by the Sayville defense. That's just an unblocked rusher coming off the edge. So he showed up, he showed coverage, and on the snap, he became the extra man, the free rusher off the edge. And I think the back was blocking inside out and got to him late. Didn't have him in the count. Usually they add people to the count based on where they're coming from, but he didn't show to the last minute.
High snap. Waskalowitz just gets it off, and a really good punt considering the adverse situation that he was in. It'll be downed by Westhampton at the 44-yard line. So good one there by Waskalowitz just to get out of that trouble on the high snap and the side kick.
Dylan, you would say, well, both teams went 3 and out, right? They didn't have very successful plays, but because of the field position battle, that was won by Sayville, big time on the loss there on the sack, and now they have the ball. They're starting 1st and 10 on the 44-yard line of Westhampton. Great field position for the Sayville offense.
Messina gets the starters or the offense back on the field. This time he's got Thomas Say Jr. Again, calls his own number, tries to get to the outside. Good pursuit to the football by the Westhampton guys, so another short gain by Messina.
Couple plays now they've tried to use Messina. People call it the Wildcat. Other people just say they're running the offense and the quarterback's running with the ball, right? A lot of variation of describing. I don't really call it a Wildcat situation anymore because Messina's playing quarterback. But not a lot of yards there.
You see the head coach of Westhampton in his 4th season. It's Brian Shamluffel out of Wanta, 1991 grad. He's been at Westhampton Beach for 25 years, in multiple different positions until he took over 4 years ago. Was the offensive coordinator the year that they won the LIC. There's the fake handoff. It's Messina. And again, not much doing. Good job tackling, leading the way. 23, you see there, was Rob Moreland, the 6', 185 senior. One of those weight room kids.
Looked like a zone read play there by Messina. He pulled the ball, and, you know, went to the Westhampton guys' credit, getting off blocks and running to the football. And, you know, that's half the battle when you're in the spread, because you're going to have a lot of, when you're playing against the spread, you're going to have a lot of one-on-one tackles, a lot of one-on-one opportunities. You're not going to get 3 or 4 guys to the ball. And when you miss those one-on-ones, big plays happen.
3rd and 10, man in motion. Messina rolls to his right, throws, connects, first down, and some more. Chad Mochio. And that's where you're dangerous, Mike. You're expecting to run constantly, right? But Messina, he could throw the football as well. Coming into this game, 5 of 6 for 27 yards and a touchdown. That's a big 3rd down conversion.
Yeah, big staple passing play of most spread teams. You know, most teams on Long Island operating the spread. They have like a 3-level flood there going. You had the man in motion, the shallow. Mokia was your in between, your medium guy, and you had a deep guy. You had man deep who's covered, and Mokia's open in the is your intermediate route.
Man in motion, first down here. And going nowhere. Again, big play defensively. That's Jordan Brown, number 25. Mike, he is just a sophomore, 6'1", 190, really athletic, big, strong kid. Probably will go on and play inside linebacker or outside linebacker as he gets older, but a big play there from the sophomore nose tackle.
Couple weeks in a row, Dylan, I've been with you. I wasn't with you last week, but the week before that, we saw Wantor play, and they were in an odd front with a nose guard who was very active. And you can see, Jordan Brown right there was very, very active. And sometimes a small, more athletic guy than nose can be a real trouble for an offensive line.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 3. Messina cuts right through, dives forward, and gets, it looks like, inside the 20-yard line.
A little flash draw play there on 2nd down, and Messina gets quite a bit of yardage right there.
Messina, an incredible athlete, has that different gear. When I asked Reed Sands sort of how does he project, where do you see him maybe next level-wise, he goes, I could see him as the middle linebacker at Penn State. He's that good of an athlete, and he's a football guy. He's not, a translated or a lacrosse guy playing football. He is a football guy. 3rd and 6. Messina takes it himself, but again, nowhere to go. 64, Zach Furman, the D end, with a big tackle.
Right now, to the Westhampton guys' credit, they're getting off the ball hard, and they're getting up the field. They're winning the line of scrimmage and getting off blocks. And, whenever you play against an odd front, a 3-4 or a 3-3 stack, very difficult to block at times. They can be taking angles, slanting, taking gaps. It looks like the Sayville offensive line, the coach has to settle in a little bit, find some things that work in the running game.
It's been a work in progress up front for Sayville on the offensive line. Some moving parts there. A better performance last game after Gallagher moved out to left tackle. Here we go, 4th and 9. End zone. Touchdown, Sayville. Messina finds Murtha. And the Golden Flashes take a 6-0 lead. Correction, I believe that was Smalley with the pass. We'll show it again. We know it was Murtha. And yeah, it was. Jack Smalley comes in. You need a passing play. You go to your arm. Smalley, the senior, his 8th touchdown pass of the year. And he finds Murtha in the back of the end zone.
What a great ball. What a great ball by Smalley. They just keep having guys that can throw the ball here, huh? That's very impressive throw. It's his first play in the game, right? Gets in the game and throws that ball on 4th down. That's a great ball.
Argenziano with the PAT, now 8 of 9 on the year. And yeah, there is Murtha, big smile on his face. His 6th receiving touchdown of the year. He's got unbelievable speed, the explosion as well. Sands says he is just uncoverable one-on-one. And you see he just got himself open there in the back of the end zone.
It looks like a little double move he was running there, Dylan. I thought Smalley was looking to a different receiver in the trips formation, was looking to the corner of the end zone, and then came back to Murtha a little bit later, came off his primary read. Or that's the coaching point, is to look one way and throw the other. But what a great, we'll see the replay here. Murtha's the outside. He was the outside guy. He was the number one receiver on the outside. You know, and he runs a post all the way across the formation.
And that was perfectly thrown.
Perfectly thrown.
You throw that a little too much on that one, that's out of the back of the end zone, and you turn the ball over.
No doubt. Very catchable ball, too. Sometimes guys throw balls that are easy to catch, and that's one of those balls that looks easy to catch. Nice for me to say that. But that's a catchable ball, you know.
Smalley, 6'2", 180, senior QB, an absolute gun for an arm. Sands isn't shy to admit as strong an arm as any of the other big-name Sayville quarterbacks. We'll show you later on sort of how this has become quarterback high and the names that you put on that list. Of course, last year it was Jack Cheshire leading the way to a record 15th county championship out of Division III, beating Westhampton right here on this same field. Before that, of course, Jack Cohn and then Stephen Ferrara. And Sands said, you can keep going on and on. Like, we only went to the last three guys, but they were phenomenal, all of them. And Smalley, and the arm strength really to match perhaps all of them.
Sure, another dimension, the spread offense. You have a quarterback with great arm strength. You know, some of the routes in the spread, depending where the ball is on the hash, middle of hash, you know, some routes you can't throw them. Guys aren't strong enough to get the ball there, right? And he's not that guy. He looks like he can put the ball wherever he wants it. That's very impressive. And considering he didn't play last spring, right? You had Jack Cheshire still playing last spring, so really his third game of, you know, going on to his fourth game of experience, right?
Off the kickoff. And again, not much doing. Good pursuit by the special teams of Sayville. So it's long field for Westhampton to try to get a response.
I feel kind of a big series early in the game, you know, 4:23 in the first quarter, Dylan. I think this is a big possession for the Westhampton guys. I think, you know, they had a great defensive series. And listen, it was fourth down, right? The guy hooks up a ball on fourth down to score. So you've played some good defensive downs, and you're down 7-0. And you got to get the ball moving just a little bit. If you have to punt it again, make Sayville drive the field, right? And need to settle you guys in a little bit and get some successful plays here.
It's been a tough start early on for Westhampton. Their first game of the year against Harbor Fields was canceled, a COVID situation. And that really kind of put them behind the eight ball, right? You lose that one game, especially week one. That's a good run on first down. Getting out to about a 5-yard gain was Rob Moreland. We mentioned him as a linebacker. He's also your starting running back as well.
That was a nice run right there by Moreland. A little explosive, a little pop, a little jump cut, get upfield.
6-yard gain, 2nd and 4. Arasate, hands off. Looks to be Moreland again. And he gets a first down and some more. Gang tackled at about the 44-yard line. And that's what Moreland is, that tough, hard-nosed runner, a hard guy to tackle. Made a big improvement in the offseason. You can see why right here. It's paying dividends for him.
Sure, they got hot on a hat there. Westhampton, I think Sayville just called timeout to discuss some things defensively. That's what Westhampton needs right there.
We'll take the timeout with them as well. You're watching the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Arjulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. Ciolino. See you later.
Going long, wide open, Perazzi, he gets it, Perazzi, foot raise, 10, 5, bank it, touchdown, punch, counter punch.
The Frickery Rider gets it back, goes over the top for Haberman. What a catch!
Just Ross Simmons strips him, that's loose, and Ross Simmons is going to take this the other direction. Bank it, touchdown, touchdown East.
We welcome you back out to Sayville. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford. There's the huddle there for Westhampton. And to kind of continue that point, so you miss week 1 because of COVID situation, right? And now you're behind the 8 ball. So they struggled in week 2 against Kings Park, a very good Kings Park team, by the way, 21-6. They looked better. They looked a little bit more themselves in week 3, a 33-14 loss. Really, what Sean Mlaufel has said was it's about the offense and just moving the football. They're getting themselves in good positions. They're just not able to kind of finish. As here's Lauby cut down. Good tackle by Bonfanti, the cornerback. Loss of 1 on the play. His 9th tackle of the year.
I think Lauby tried to bounce that one outside a little bit, and that's where everybody was, right? A little more people. I guess he saw somebody he liked, but sometimes you got to keep it inside and just put your head down and get 1 or 2 and not lose 1 or 2.
He lost 1. A little movement on the right side. Good job by Arisate, the senior. He started week 1, or their first game, I should say. Got injured in that game, so he missed the East Islip game, but he's a big, strong, fast quarterback. We'll see him run the football a little bit as well, but good job there just with his cadence to create the offside penalty and move Westhampton Beach 5 yards up.
Cadence is the friend of the offense, right? Tone the defense down. They're timing up the snap count. Coach, they're timing up the snap count. They're coming off the ball so fast. Well, there's cadence to slow them down a little bit and see if they're looking at the ball, are they listening, or are they doing the right things here?
2nd and 6. The flip goes to Moreland. He'll get out to about the 50-yard line.
Good run there. Tossing it back pretty far to get those yards, but that's a nice looking play by Westhampton.
And this is the play where now you're saying, right, they've got to move the chains after giving up a touchdown and, some good-looking runs. You get the a penalty as well, but you've got to continue to convert. Moreland, look at the second effort. He was pulled down before that first down marker, continued his run, and he does, in fact, move the chains, pulled down at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, Westhampton's going pretty fast right now. They get up on the line of scrimmage, and they get downhill with that inside zone look. They're locking it. With that zone lock look, just getting north-south, and he's looking pretty good right now.
Arisate calls his own number, pushes himself forward, loses the football, but the fumble is recovered by who else but Moreland.
There he is, find that football and get on it, right? I think just trying to, change it up a little bit. Arasati gets a carry there. Now they don't key so much on Moreland, and actually gained maybe another yard out of him from the fumble, right? But I think you said, Dylan, before, I think they've accomplished their task, though. They'd love to score right here, get some points in the ball, but if they don't, they've calmed the Sayville guys down a little bit, and they've brought the game back to even a little bit.
At the 39, Arisate calls his own number, gets a blocker on the outside. He's hit hard at the 40, kind of pushes himself forward a little bit, down at the 39.
Quarterback keeper there, right? Beautiful part about running the quarterback is that you gain a blocker in the running back, and they're trying a little wide there, a little outside zone with the quarterback. And good pursuit by the Sayville defense.
3rd and 8. Arisate, here comes the pressure. Dumps it over the top for the screen, but not much doing there at all. You love the tackle by 32, Charlie Sands. 24th tackle of the year. A captain out of that linebacker spot, plays there with his brother Benny. A big tackle there by Charlie Sands.
There's a guy right there following his keys, playing with his eyes, know where to go right there, not buying into what he sees the screen coming, gets off the block of the lineman, and makes the play. That's a really, really great linebacker play right there. And that, that 4-2, 4-3 kind of a look that Sayville's playing right now. Got to make those plays if you're a linebacker.
4th and 10. There's the punt. And it is fair caught at about the 9-yard line. You saw Sands there, Charlie Sands, 32. He had that little number 56, right, above his right shoulder. For number 32 out of Sayville, Charlie Sands. That's for Joey Vizone. He's the Joey Vizone winner. True football player is Sands, and it's a great really sad story, but again, one of those tributes that you have out of Sayville, where Joey Vizone was a guy who always wanted to play high school or play varsity football. He wore that number on the JV, never got a chance to play varsity. Unfortunately, he died in 2014 after an ongoing struggle with terminal brain cancer. So they wanted to remember him, and that's how they do it with that number and that award. And the recipient this year is Charlie Sands. First down and deep in the Sayville zone, and not much room to maneuver there on first down. Hit for a loss was Thomas Say, as the first quarter will wind down. So Smalley found there he is. There's Sands, the recipient of the Joey Vizone Award. So Smalley went end zone to find Murtha, and that's your scoring so far. This Suffolk Division III showdown is the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
We welcome you back to Sayville. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here, 7-0 for the Golden Flashes. And we mentioned this before. How about these QBs and the numbers that they put up? I spoke to Rob Haas, and he says the numbers that Ferrara put up, right, those were staggering at the time, and they're almost minuscule compared to what Jack Home put up, and even Jack Cheshire. That's only in 2 seasons as a starting quarterback here, 60 touchdowns, 4,700 career passing yards as well, 43 touchdowns in a season. What you love, too, is Cone and Cheshire, the 2 Jacks there, were both Hanson Award winners. They all won the Boomer Esiason Award for Best Quarterback. We called it quarterback high. Listen, Rob Haas had it churning there. Now Reed Sands has taken over the helm, but this has been the spot for quarterbacks, certainly out here in Suffolk County.
Can't say enough about, it is definitely quarterback high, and kids that grew up here in town want to play quarterback, right? And sometimes, you need a certain skill set to be the quarterback. It's physical, it's mental, it's a whole bunch of things, and they seem to find the right guy, that's for sure.
2nd and 14. Messina pushes himself forward. Still well shy of the first down marker. Impressed so far with the defense of Westhampton.
Yeah, right now it looks like, Sayville's trying to run some zone looks up front with their linemen, and, the zone thing, works really well when you get double teams, and you can keep those creases from opening up in those lanes, and it looks like there's been some windows opened up there by the Westhampton D lines and linebackers taking some gaps and making some run-throughs, and that's pretty good defense. Could be also be by design at times.
3rd and 8. Messina scrambles, gets a big block. He pushes himself forward. Looked to be a broken play. Gotta love the block by 77 Griffin Perez, the center, to allow him a little extra space. Doesn't get the first down, but it could have been a lot worse than it was.
I think that's the danger when you have Messina playing quarterback, right? He's really a running back by trade in some ways, and he's very shifty. And I thought he was going to cut that all the way back, and didn't get the number, but there was a Westhampton defender doing what he's supposed to do, right? See the ball go the other way, stay home, and he makes the play on Messina. Really forces the punt right here.
Argenziano punting from just in front of his end zone. Lauby is deep, bounces on him. He gets off the punt. Lauby picks it up at the 50. Looks for some room, bounces to the outside, continues to go. Deegan Lauby tries to hurdle a guy, and he's pulled down inside the 10.
Punter makes a touchdown-saving tackle. Good job, young man.
We talked about his ability, right? There's a flag, though, on the play. We talked about the big play ability that Deegan Lauby has. That and the wiggle, those are your similarities. And Brian Shamloffel says it's unfair, right, to compare brother to brother. They're each their individual players, and you never want to compare anyone to Dylan Laube, the career that he had here. But it's against Sayville. That, of course, will be declined. So first down here for Westhampton, but what a return by Deegan Laube.
You can see it here. He's kind of inside, and he kind of decides to get to the edge, and he gets a couple blocks, and they just turns on the speed. And
that's that wiggle, right? We saw when he bounced to the outside for Laube.
I think I gave the punter credit there. I don't know if that was the punter. I think that might have been somebody else on the replay, Dylan. I didn't get the number, but that was a great touchdown-saving tackle. And over the years I coached at Farmingdale with Buddy Krumenack. He used to tell the kids all the time that, every play's 4 or 5 seconds at a time, right? And when you have 4 or 5 seconds come, that might be the difference in the game right there. And special teams might be 2 or 3 minutes in the game total time. All the special teams plays, but they're big plays, and Westhampton's got great field position thanks to special teams.
First and goal from the 9. Handoff. Look at that defensive play. We already talked about one Sands. How about the other? Benny Sands. Flag, though, on the play. Benny Sands, by the way, we mentioned the numbers for his brother Charlie. 23 tackles. How about that's the 29th tackle of the year for Benny Sands?
Well, those 2 inside linebacker guys, right? I guess there's 2 linebacker guys in that 4-2 look they're showing right now, and those guys can run around and make plays. That's what the D lineman is supposed to do with them, make plays, but then they got to make them, right? And they've been making them all year long.
Benny Sands, a junior, 5'10", 170. Instinctual, tough, smart. You mentioned the intangibles. They're all there for Benny Sands. And Westhampton will be pushed back here on that penalty.
That's a big penalty right there, Dylan. That looks like a 15-yarder.
Yeah, they were, again,
Spot
it was
foul.
First and goal from the 9. You see them getting pushed back. Let's see if we could see it here.
I'm not sure what the foul was there.
Was it a chop block, I believe?
Maybe it was high-low on a guy player there. Blocking below the waist on an engaged player, maybe.
Well, regardless, you're back now at the 27-yard line, and it's still first and goal. Arasate fakes another flag on the play. He gets taken down. But again, we'll stay here and with the white hats see the penalty. And this is a little bit too, I think, of what Shamloffel was saying, right? They get themselves into good positions. They were 9 yards away from potentially tying the game. And you see here another penalty. So the first, a 15-yard variety. This is a spot foul as a holding penalty.
He might consider declining this, depending on, because it was a pretty big loss on the play, and take the down,
That's what
Coach Sands is talking about right here.
Yeah, that's the conversation right now. And let's see.
That looks like he's going to make it third. The choice is third down.
Should be second down.
Right, the previous play was declined. Second down, there it is.
So good call there by you, Mike, where you consider kind of what you get out of the play, right? And is it better to give him 3 more chances from a little bit further out or less? So again, pushed back. They're now, it looks like at the 33. Low snap. Arasate handles it. Goes deep, looks end zone, trying to find Laube, and that's knocked down well. The no-fly zone was the signal there by Bonfante.
Very good coverage. Very, very good coverage by Bonfante.
He is Sayville's lockdown corner. And not happening on his watch is his signal there. Bonfante, 8 tackles on the year. Bono, they call him out here in Sayville, got an INT on the year as well. So third and goal from the 34-yard line, and Sayville will call the timeout. Discussing things a little bit.
I think they would try and change some defensive personnel there, Dylan, and get to a different package maybe on the third and long, and they're a little confused. Too many men on the field for sure.
So we mentioned before, right, the Deegan Lowby and the comparisons may be unfair. There's Dylan Lowby. Westhampton Beach's best. Look at those career numbers, 120 touchdowns, nearly 6,500 rushing yards, including 47 touchdowns in that Long Island championship season of 2017, where he also broke the single season record. Another Hanson Award winner, a co-winner in 2017. I believe that was with Jeremy Ruckert. And, of course, he led Westhampton to a 12-0 record. Their first LIC, Dylan Lowby, continuing to tear it up at New Hampshire as well now.
Tremendous player, Dylan Lowby, and a great athlete, and playing up started right away as soon as he got to New Hampshire. For those who are unaware, New Hampshire, 1AA school, FCS school, and traditionally one of the better FCS schools in the country. And for him to go there right away, I believe he was a freshman All-American. Dylan Lowby played right away, and says a lot to his abilities when he goes to a top-level 1AA school, the second highest level of football you can play, and not only contributes in his program, but as a freshman.
Yeah, he's one of the leaders in the country at that level in all-purpose yards right now. Third down from the 34, Arisate. Here comes the pressure. He is sacked. Look out. Was that Sands? It was. 32, Charlie Sands flying in for the sack, his second of the season.
Yeah, it looks like he comes once again, right? When you're counting players in the box, outside the box, he's coming from distance, he's coming from depth, and a little bit late, so he might not be in the offensive lineman's count in the pass blocking scheme. And he comes free, and he puts a shot on the quarterback. That's a linebacker's dream right there.
And another situation where you're going to run into the kicker, or the punter, I should say. And how about that, too, right? Where Westhampton Beach, you start that on a great return by Lowby. You've got first down at your 9, and now you're punting the ball away from midfield.
Yeah, crazy turn of events between you had first and goal, right? And all of a sudden now you've lost probably almost 40 yards of field position on a couple sacks and a pretty big penalty. Let's see what's going to happen here.
Yeah, it was a long conversation the last time, right? You've got to think there's another running into, right? And Sands is, you can look, you're on that sideline, you understand, right? You want your, ooh, it's a personal foul. This I don't agree with. That's a running into. That, not to me, is a roughing, and you can see the reaction by Sands. His guy is trying to make a football play. His guy trying to go, he's not trying anything malicious.
Yeah, the roughing the kicker stuff is definitely is one of the ones in football that's really an interpretation call, and really tough situation. And I know Coach Sand doesn't agree. I'd like to see it again, but I also think he was trying to hold up. And I think the roughing goes when you lay out and your intention, almost like I don't care what happens. I think he was trying to avoid hitting him, and very tough call. Great situation for Westhampton. Quite conversely, they're almost back where they started from, right, Dylan?
Yeah, they are. It's a first down now at looks to be the 27-yard line. So new life here for Westhampton Beach. Arisate, the quick out. Dancing along the sidelines, pushed out of bounds. Not much doing there for Lowby.
Little quick now screen out to Lowby, try to get him in space, but the ball was thrown a little bit behind him, I think, and he had to reach back for it, and that kind of slowed things down and gave Sayville a little time to pursue. He's just trying to get Lowby in space, right, and get him the ball against maybe one defender, make one miss, and now all of a sudden an extended handoff gets you 7 or 8.
The athleticism defensively for Sayville is really, really something to watch here that we've seen here in the first almost quarter and a half.
Dylan, we don't want to talk about it. People don't talk about it. Is the Sayville guys are in the spread offense, right? They're throwing the ball in practice all the time. So they're playing against it all the time, right? And they get used to tackling.
Fumble. It looks like Sayville that was fumbled on the handoff. And there he is recovering it. Benny Sands. That was a botched handoff from Arisate. It looked to be Moreland. Here it is again, Mike. Watch 2 in blue, or in purple, I should say, get this football.
Yep, it looks like he had the ball in his hands, a quarterback, and he went to hand it off, and the back went pretty quick, and they didn't mesh it up correctly. The ball goes on the ground. There's Sands again. These Sands guys are everywhere.
What do the kids say? Ball don't lie, right? So we didn't agree with the call, and that's what you get out of that one, right? Sayville gets possession. Although field position-wise, it's not the best for them. Man in motion. Messina just dumps it off, and that's incomplete, trying to find Bonfanti.
Trying a little flood there, trying to, run to the field there and get something short, but they couldn't hook it up. But Dylan, once I can go back to what I said before, is the Sayville guys talk about their athleticism. They've always had good athletes here. They've always had great guys in skill positions running around. But they practice against the spread every day, right? So they're covering all the time. They're always covering. And they're always working on the things that make you good defensively against spread teams. And I think that goes a long way to being good defensively against these type of offenses.
And there's Messina there, too. Even the look, right? 5'10", 165. He does not look the part of a 14-year-old kid.
No, most guys like his age are in a JV game tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
right? He would probably put a real hurting on his Saturday morning game.
Bonfanti was in motion. It's Messina calling his own number, pushing forward, and taken down at the 36-yard line.
Yeah, we guess that's kind of a draw-type look there for Messina, getting him the ball up inside.
Well, last time we saw, too, they went jet sweep with Bonfanti, right, and they got stopped. So good play call there by kind of faking that and then having Messina take it himself.
Pretty impressed by Westhampton. They seem to be defensively aligning correctly, covering the field, and taking good angles on those jet sweep type plays and running to the football. So I think Sayville's had a little more success inside than they've had going to the edges.
Trips right. Messina goes the other way, left, tries to break his first tackle. And that's the thing I think with Westhampton is you maybe will break that first tackle, but the pursuit is coming from a whole host of hurricanes. And ends up being a loss of a yard for Messina. We keep an eye out for him in part because we saw the change before, right? Where Smalley came in on a quote-unquote passing down, right, or a passing play. Looks to be here, though. Messina will stay in. Now, when we do see Smalley, Messina is not leaving the field. He'll now transition and move into the backfield as a tailback. 4th and 1. Handoff. Here comes Messina. Burst forward. First down and more. Taken down at the 50-yard line. Kyle Messina.
Beautiful play about running the quarterback. A lot of people don't want to run the quarterback, but they come with a power play right there, right? Bang, there it is, counter a power. And, he's the running back, so there's no handoff involved. It's just a downhill run, and you get an extra blocker in the running back.
How about Tommy Ligori there, the right guard? One of the captains, brother Nick, played here as well, now at Maritime. Open nice hole there for Messina to run through. That's Milo, 10 in motion. Messina ducks out of pressure, lobs one. Oh, and he nearly found Milo. Incomplete, though.
I think if you're Westhampton, those are the moments where when you don't get him on the ground right away and he starts running around, he becomes really, really dangerous, right? Not your true pocket passer, or you guys could maybe hang in and go do a progression read as a freshman. But when it breaks down, he becomes very, very dangerous.
Smalley is that pure pocket passer. Number 8. 2nd and 10 into the game. Charlie Sands as that lone running back to the right hip of Messina. You see him there, 32. Man in motion. The flip to Bonfatti. Gets to the outside. Now cuts inside. Back outside, inside the 40, and pulled down at the 35-yard line.
Great looking play right there. You tossed it up. Now, the difference, Dylan, between handing it off and tossing it up, if he would have dropped that ball, that'd be an incompletion. So that's a passing play. Yep, that's a pass. And instead of handing it to him where it could be a fumble if it's mistimed. And how about that inside-out run and the downfield blocking by the Sayville guys? Great work right there.
And it was 32 again, Sands.
Bring Sands in, and he kind of aligned himself in a wide alignment there, right? He wasn't getting the ball handed to him. They were either running the quarterback. Now we see he's back next to the quarterback in a regular running back alignment. Before, he was quite wide.
Milo in motion. 1st and 10 for Sayville at the 35-yard line. Here comes the pressure. It's Smalley in a QB, and he is sacked. Jordan Brown brought the pain. Second big play of this first half by the sophomore nose tackle.
Brown gets the sack, Dylan, but the West Hampton secondary did a pretty good job. They had, looks like 3 men in the route, fourth man coming across the underneath route. They had them all covered. Great job by the West Hampton guys. They weren't fooled or surprised. Good coverage, and our man at the nose, Jordan Brown, gets for statistic.
Back in is Messina after that loss of 5. Little cadence. This time West Hampton not jumping.
Well, Sayville's gonna, line up. They're gonna make a fake call. They're gonna look at the defense over and up top. They'll send up another play and maybe change it. Check to a play.
2nd and 15. Here's Messina. Pushes forward. Looks like he got those 5 yards back. Taken down at about the 35. There you see some of those dudes up front. Furman, 64. 6'2", 205 senior. We mentioned Brown before. 6'1", 190 as just a sophomore. Noah Hebert is your D end as well at 77.
Brown's one of those guys, I think, when you look at their roster and you say, they're playing a guy at nose guard that weighs 190, and we have some big linemen here and there, right? But then you got to play against him, and there's different kinds of 190, and he's that kind of guy you don't want to deal with. He gets off the ball and chases. And
Messina complete. That's going to be close to a first down. Pointing his way there is Murtha, and he knows the spot, right? Murtha gets the first down, and a great job by Messina finding him.
Yeah, Messina with that little quarter roll, right? Little quarter roll. One again, run about that level flood there, that little sideline flood routes. Shallow, intermediate, and deep. Take what they give you.
Mike came into this game, 12 receptions, 253 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's got Sayville with a first down at the 24-yard line. Under 4 minutes left in this first half. Sands now to the left hip of Messina. He'll follow that block. Messina, and doesn't get, maybe gets 2 yards on the play. Good job tackling. Looked like in on that play was Christian Kaloran, the cornerback at number 10, senior, 6 foot 185.
Did a couple plays right there. Great job by the West Hampton guys, just fighting off the blocks, right, stretching the play out, stringing it out, and waiting for him to turn it up and just make the play. I think Sayville might have came into the game thinking they could get a little bit more out of these plays, but the West Hampton guys are doing a great job, bending a little bit, not really breaking.
2nd and 9. There's that same pitch that we saw a moment ago, right? This time it's Murtha, and read well by West Hampton. Kaloran again on the tackle.
Those plays, those perimeter blocking plays on those jet sweep type plays and those fly sweep plays, the blocking takes a long time. It takes a long time for the guy to get there, and you have to stay on your blocks, and it's not easy. Looks like that's small in the game now, right?
Yeah, there you see the number 8. And as we mentioned before, now you give him 2 looks, right, where you got Messina right next to him as well. 3rd and 9. Smalley back to pass. Who does he find but Messina, and a great tackle by Frankie Noto, 56.
Hey, dealing with a pretty slippery customer there. Messina just gets enough to get him on the ground. Great job. Go a little screen there to Messina, right? Get the rush up the field.
Watch 56 in white come here with his tackle.
Fights
right
through the
there.
block. Yep.
Just swinging at the legs.
I think when the Sayville guys watch the film, they'll see they had 3 linemen for 2 players, and I think the same guy blocked 2 linemen blocked the same guy and leave him alone a little bit, and he fights through. Great defensive play.
Milo in motion, 4th and 8. Smalley under pressure, ducks out of it, gets hammered, throws the INT at the 5. West Hampton with the INT, and it was their number 10. We just mentioned him a moment ago, Kaloran.
That's a nice series by Kaloran right there. He's in on a lot of plays.
You wonder if not the sack, right, but the contact maybe affected that throw. Is underthrown a bit. Kaloran kind of jumped that route.
I'm not sure that that the quarterback Smalley and the receiver are on the same page about what the route was there, and he's throwing it really from almost one hash to the other, right way across the field. Ball's in the air a long time. You can see Smalley's got tremendous arm strength to get that ball there with velocity, and a great play by Kaloran. So that was 4th down anyway, right, Dylan? You know,
Correct.
It's kind of like a short punt.
So Westhampton takes over. They've got 1:39 left in this first half. They start at their own 17-yard line in a rush forward by Arasate, their QB.
So Westhampton's going to get the ball to start the second half. They won the kickoff and they deferred, and Sayville got the ball. So Westhampton will get the ball to start the second half. So with 1:20, it's 7-0. I said it much earlier, Dylan. There's one play, the difference in the game right here, right? And the 4th down touchdown play from Smalley to Murtha. And Westhampton's hung around. So if they could just get to halftime.
Arasate hands off. And forced out of bounds. There was again the hard-running Moreland.
Wonder if Coach Ramaffo hope he would have stayed in bounds maybe there a little bit. You know, kids are just playing and making plays sometimes. You know, you see guys in the NFL not know what to go in, stay in bounds, or stay in bounds, or go out of bounds. You know, but clock stopped with 1:02.
And you wonder here too, right? If you get stopped, does Sayville take their last timeout with the hope certainly of Westhampton having the punt from deep in their own zone? 3rd and 5. Arasate back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Goes over the middle, and that's incomplete, so they don't even have to call the timeout. The clock stops on the incomplete pass with 58 seconds left. So Westhampton will have the punt.
Yep, looks like Westhampton was trying to run 2 screens there, right? Throw a little screen to the back, to the left, and then over the middle. A little jailbreak screen over the middle to maybe the tight end in that look, or receiver in that look. And they can punt again. And Sayville still has a timeout with 58 seconds, so punting's been an adventure for both teams a little bit, so we'll see what happens here, Dylan.
It's been more of an adventure, I feel like, for West Kalowitz because of the penalties that are involved. That's a really good punt. Look at this one. Look at a bounce as well. Fielded and nearly fumbled, picked up at the 25, and just falling there was Anthony Morione.
Well, unless they throw one over the top here and get some kind of big play, that might have been enough to get Westhampton to the half here, maybe. So Sayville's got 43 seconds and 1 timeout.
That's one of your favorite stats there, just the yardage you get after the bounce of the football, right?
Especially in high school football. High school punters are, that one was like a 10-yard off the line of scrimmage, screaming liner, right?
Well, this is your, well, not 2-minute, right? Your 43-second offense, which means you're going in the air, which means you go to your rocket of an arm with Smalley. Goes sideline and incomplete, trying to find Murtha. Murtha's been his, you'd say, favorite receiver. He leads Sayville, does number 12, Mac Murtha, with 12 receptions coming in. You mentioned his brother before, Brock. What a great football player he was, an even better baseball player. He's with Jack Cohn right now out at Notre Dame, playing for the baseball team. 2nd and 10. We go the same way. Murtha, the out route, gets himself out of bounds at about the 40.
Westhampton has softened up the coverage a little bit, playing the time game and the yardage game, you know, rather than giving up that's something over the top. And great route by Murtha, just running him off a little bit, continuing to run him off, sit down, a little stop route. Get some yards, got out of bounds. That's pretty well rehearsed right there. They've thrown that ball a lot in practice.
3rd and 2. There you see Sands, Charlie Sands. And Shamlawful screaming for a timeout. I think he had too many men.
They're making a change of a defensive line at 12 for a few seconds there on the field. Tell you, Dylan, we come here tonight and a minute before halftime, 34 seconds before halftime, and we kind of felt that Sayville was a pretty good favorite here. You know, Westhampton was 0-2, but throw the records out when 2 good programs play, and the Westhampton guys have lived up to their program right now. You know, and they're playing really hard, and haven't been able to really figure out what they want to get right offensively in terms of, like, you know, sustaining drives, but defensively they've been on top of things.
Well, that's what Sean Mlaufel again said, right? He's like, he thinks we do have some good players. He said it's been a struggle. Again, that first game loss against Harborfields because the COVID situation set them back. So they struggled against Kings Park, a good team. Better performance in week 2, or their week 2, I should say, week 3 of the season against EI. It was a nice bounce back. He said, I thought we rallied. We played them really tough defensively. We did a pretty good job. He goes, offensively is where the struggle has been. He said, we're getting ourselves in good offensive field positions. We're just not finding it possible to punch it in. He thinks that's where they are right now. That's what's lacking, and you certainly got to say it. There's a good look at their head coach, Brian Schomhoff. You have to say that from this first half as well, right? You faced the first and goal from the 9. Not only were you unable to punch it in, you then had to punt the football. 3rd and 2. Good protection for Smalley. He's picked off at the 50. Returned to about the 44. Excuse me, it was 44. Jurgel. And how about that INT? Dom Jurgel.
Great interception right there. Pretty well, a lot of velocity on that ball, though. Smalley's such a good ball. When the other guy gets their hands on it, he catches it too. What a turn of events here. 25 seconds left. Westhampton with 2 timeouts and the ball in the 33.
That's the second INT of the first half. And now you give Westhampton a shot, right? 25 seconds to go. They've got, as you see in the bottom of your screen, 2 timeouts left. They hand it off to, a little trickery. Moreland hands it back. They get to the outside. Cutting inside, pull down inside was Spizzocco. And he's taken down. There's an injured, looked like that was Spizzocco. 2-year starter, the senior receiver.
Great run there, but I think the Westhampton coach would have been happy if he would have got out of bounds, right, and saved the timeout. They used their second timeout there because he was tackled inbounds. High school football, like college, the clock stops on a first down play, and if the ball's in bounds, they will restart. So they had to use their second timeout. So they have 1 timeout left and the ball on the 20-yard line.
Kolowitz is your kicker and punter. We've seen him as the punter. Not really sure what his range is, but you got to figure there's going to be a shot certainly for the end zone. You see the timeouts at the bottom of your screen. Both teams with 1. 16 seconds left.
Dylan, I'm going to tell you right now. We called it Field Goal Friday. Field Goal Friday. There needs to be a field goal here. Field Goal Friday night, baby. Where are we?
Well, not quite yet.
FGFN.
Hold your horses. Arasate under pressure, and that's a bouncer to Lauby on the outside.
Good pressure there from Sayville. Sayville's doing a good job of aiding that blitzer in late. The unaccounted for, I think that was a down lineman there, possibly coming number 29. Joe Byrne. But they've been doing a good job of bringing the unaccounted for late rusher if it's been given the offensive line for Sayville fits.
Yeah, Joe Byrne, lightning quick. A junior, 6 foot, 160, probably, Reed Sand says, probably the fastest kid on the team. Also one of those backup running backs as well. Arasate. Oh, they're coming. Was he able to find? No, incomplete pass. And again, tried to find Spizzocco.
They're causing him fits over there. So we just talked about Byrne there, right? And they stack a linebacker behind him, and they're doing the deal game. One's going in and one's going out, right? And they're leaving the offensive line to figure out who's going where. And the poor tackle's got to pick, and the guard's engaged. And there's a pretty big opening coming there. It's tough to defend when you only have one back in the backfield helping you block.
3rd and 10. We just showed you Kolowitz. He is your kicker as well. Here they come again. The pass is incomplete. So that pressure coming from Sayville, forcing Arasate to go quickly, and decision time here for the Hurricanes.
Well, you know where I stand.
Yeah, in the press box.
Yes.
Well, they're going to try it, it looks like, right? He's got the countdown. Does Arasate, does Kalowitz. Let's see the distance here. We're going to go 37 yards. 6'1". 42 with the kick. And that one is off the mark. So it was actually Waskowskiewicz who was the holder, and the kicker was Shane O'Brien. Well, the struggles offensively continue for Westhampton. They put themselves in good positions. They're just unable to punch the ball in. That's been the story of the early season. And for Sayville, it's a strong defense and that one touchdown pass, the difference right now. 7-0 Sayville. It's halftime here. You're watching the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Over the middle, he's got a man. It's complete. Ciolino. See you later.
Going long, wide open, Perazzi, he gets it, Perazzi, foot raise, 10, 5, make it, touchdown, punts, counter punch.
The trickery, Ryder gets it back, goes over the top for Haberman. What a catch!
Just Ross Simmons strips him, that's loose, and Ross Simmons is going to take this the other direction, make it, touchdown, touchdown East.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
But the Friars have dealt with that well. Torres calls his own number into the secondary, cuts right. He's got a blocker upfield as well. Dante Torres, touchdown, St. Anthony's. Goes long, looks for Duff. It's good. Duff turns, spins. Duff is forced. Touchdown. Rand just rolls to the right. Arroyo chases him. He goes end zone. Touchdown, Syosset.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, 3-point shot is up and in. You back them back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net. Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
McCarthy.
He's got up. He's in.
Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage, and one of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Arjulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. Ciolino. See you later.
Going long. Wide open. Perazzi. He gets it. Perazzi. Foot raise. 10, 5. Make it. Touchdown. Punts. Power punch.
Little trickery. Ryder gets it back. Goes over the top for Haberman. What a catch!
Just Ross Simmons strips him. That's loose. And Ross Simmons is going to take this the other direction. Make it. Touchdown. Touchdown East.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Some injuries, but the Friars have dealt with that well. Torres calls his own number into the secondary, cuts right. He's got a blocker upfield as well. Dante Torres, touchdown, St. Anthony's.
Goes long, looks for Duff. It's good. Duff turns, spins. Duff is forced. Touchdown.
Rand just rolls to the right. Arroyo chases him. He goes end zone. Touchdown, Syosset.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, 3-point shot is up and in. You back him back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net. Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
Goes McCarthy. He's got up. He's in. Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage. And one of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
We welcome you back to Sayville. Halftime here. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford. 7-0 is the score for the Golden Flashes over the Hurricanes of Westhampton. As you can, of course, tell by the score, not a lot happening offensively. The two defenses have come to play, much like the 746 train coming in across the way from us. But the only score, well, you've got to go all the way back in the first quarter. Again, the quarterback has been, really, for the most part, right, Kyle Messina. But they went a little bit of a change to the throwing quarterback, Jack Smalley, early on, and it paid big dividends for the Golden Flashes as Smalley goes end zone to find his favorite target in Mac Murtha. Back of the end zone, a perfect throw, wide open was Murtha for the touchdown. His 6th touchdown reception of the year. Westhampton knocked on the door a few times. They had a 1st and goal from the 9. They couldn't punch it in. They had another turnover. They weren't able to punch that in either. So defensively, though, Westhampton has been stout. They've played really well. A couple of turnovers they've forced, including this one here, as Sayville was looking to get in the end zone. Christian Kaloran jumps the route, the senior cornerback with the INT, one of 2 INTs in the first half by the Westhampton defense. Some First half stats for you, as you can see. Passing yardage, Sayville a little bit more involved there. 82 passing yards. We're pretty even in the rushing yards. Sayville, though, Mike, a little bit better in third down conversions, 3 of 9 compared to Westhampton's 1 of 6.
Yeah, both teams offensive when it got the third down, a combined 4 for 15, not wonderful. If you're your offensive coordinator, you like to get closer to 50% there if you can.
Some individual stats for you, and you can see there number 23, Rob Moreland, some tough yards that he picked up, right? 29 yards on 6 attempts, leading the way for Westhampton defensively as well. 4 tackles and that 1 tackle for a loss. So he was the big standout in the first half for Westhampton. And we mentioned Messina leading the way for Sayville. And again, a lot of eyes on the freshman. He's playing quarterback. He's a tailback. If he wasn't so involved with the offense, we'd see a lot more of him on the defense as well as a linebacker. But Messina has been the leader so far offensively for the Golden Flashes. Again, the freshman, 5'10", 165. There you see him right now warming up for the start of the second half. Sands, first half numbers, 12 rushes for 37 yards, 4 of 7 for 52 yards as well. Some nice balance there from a guy that you project to kind of be that running quarterback.
He always looks like, to the Westhampton defensive credit, they've got him on the ground. They've only given him many big plays. But he has that look, Dylan. He has the look of those great guys. But it's just about to happen, right? Very slippery, about to happen and break away. So we'll see what happens in the second half with him.
And that second half will come up right after this break. You're watching the Orland & Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
McCarthy. He's got. He's in. Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage, and one of many threes on the day.
Interviews and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Friday night under those lights here at Sayville. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford. It's the Orland & Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Sayville with a 7-0 lead. Oh, this is a big-time game. Oceanside homecoming. 3 o'clock start against Massapequa. Mike, you and I are on the call for that. Another Orland & Cone Game of the Week. I suggest we leave Sayville tonight and get our spots tonight. We just camp out at Oceanside because that place is going to be insane. Packed house, a rematch of the Nassau Conference 1 championship game. Again, last year you play on campus sites. So that was Massapequa winning at Oceanside. It should be a great one.
Massapequa winning at the end of the game against Oceanside to win the championship. Massapequa's first championship since the mid-'90s. And late 90s, long time coming for the Chiefs. Perennial, very good, very, very top program. One of the top programs in Nassau Conference 1. And, a lot of people bring different teams in to play homecoming, right? And people measure their homecoming game a little bit, And Coach Blount, he's bringing in the Chiefs for homecoming. So it's gonna be something. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so often you see like maybe, we're not going to mention team names, right? But you've got a much more winnable game, right? Or almost as close to a sure win as you can get in high school on homecoming, right? To kind of get that W and get the alums excited. This time it's like, yeah, let's go bring in the team that just beat us on our field for homecoming. I love it personally. It's going to be a great matchup. 3 o'clock kickoff for that one. We will be on the air for that matchup, and it should be fun. And we've got a lot of big games coming up on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We head back out to South Huntington next week again. St. Anthony's was very impressive in that win over Cardinal Hayes. Dante Torres leading the way for them. We'll have a big game for them. They're taking on Archbishop Stepanak. Should be a fantastic one.
Stepanak, one of the top teams, another one of the top teams in the Catholic League's system there. And Stepanak's really come along lately the last few years, been very, very good, and that should be a great matchup.
And to find out where else we're going to be, you just got to follow us on our social media platforms. We've got all those answers. That's a 1:30 kickoff out at St. Anthony's next Saturday afternoon. Friday night was a lot of fun last week against Hayes. Saturday afternoon will be great as well. Stepanak, by the way, plays Iona, their rivals, tomorrow. So that should be a big one as well. We'll maybe have one eye on that one as we're watching Oceanside and Massapequa. Second half about to start here. It's Sayville kicking the ball off to Westhampton. So you mentioned this before. Westhampton, they knew they were receiving to start the second half. So even though you don't find the end zone, it's kind of a win there to at least make sure you keep Sayville out. It's not a 2-score deficit, so it's all to play for now at the start of the second half. If you can get the ball moving, or really, more importantly, get it moving in those final 20, 30 yards.
I think one of the issues that Westhampton has is just the Sayville guys feel very comfortable in their coverages against Westhampton, against their passing game, and they are blitzing hard and bringing one extra unblocked player all the time, a blitzer from depth, and Westhampton has to figure out how to combat that. If you hook a couple passes up, maybe you would avoid the sacks, you calm them down, but blitzing is like anything. If you're not defending it well, you're going to see more of it. I think that's Westhampton's challenge here. Short kickoff.
It is a short one. It does take a bounce, and we've got a penalty flag. So you can see the decision, right, where you kind of try to angle it, make it kind of die just before, and maybe get something going there. Instead, it bounces out of bounds for the flag.
Yeah, I think the Sayville guys, certainly no way disrespectful of Westhampton, but Westhampton has not really been able to move the ball very well, and so you're going to give them a little bit of a shorter field, on the short kick if it doesn't work out, but you're willing to do that because you want to see if Westhampton can get the ball moving a little bit, but if you're Westhampton, you went to the half and you said, hey, boys, really good defensive half. They got us on one play. On a fourth down play is the difference in the game right now. So we got to come out and we got to hammer away a little bit and find something that works.
So 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line are the Hurricanes. Arasate hands off, looks to go to Moreland, keeps those legs churning. Running backs, Mike, on every level are told to do that, right? You play to the whistle, you keep churning those legs, and that got Moreland 2 more yards.
Sure, he gets almost 4 there, just that forward lean, right? Covering the ball up, protect the ball, points of pressure, and drop your pads and see what you can get. And try to land on your stomach, not on your back, right?
So he gets him out to the 38-yard line. 2nd and 7. Arasate, look out! Taken down. Big number 62, James Gallagher with the sack.
Looked like that was going to be some type of a quarterback sweep there to the wide side of the field, and Gallagher in a gap.
Just not blocked.
Just not blocked. But you know what? You still got to make the play. Great job by him getting up the field and making the play, and playing with a lot of energy right there. You could see him.
So there you go. You got a positive play on 1st down. Now you lose those yardage, and you're 3rd and 15 now. Arasate, here they come again. Over the top, it's complete, but that's the line of scrimmage that it's complete two. It was Spizzocco, the senior wide receiver, gets to the 36, and Westhampton will be forced to punt.
Sayville, great defensive line games up front. They bring a guy, put a guy in a 4-eye, bring him under to the guard, snap him under, bring a guy around the outside. All kinds of stuff happening up front with the stunting and blitzing, and that's really becoming the difference in the game right now. Keeping Westhampton from moving the ball.
Waskalowitz back to punt, and it bounces out of bounds at the 38, which is where Sayville will start on offense. There you see head coach Brian Schaumloffel kind of scratching his head, wondering when his offense is going to start to percolate.
If you're Sayville and Coach Sands, you're a little nervous because it's only a play away from the game being tied, right? A play and an extra point, and I think they've got the better of the play, Sayville, so far, but with only really that one play to really show for it right now, and some very good defensive plays. Don't take anything away from the defensive playing, but you like to get a drive going here in your first shots in the second half here, and maybe get a score and break the game open a little bit.
Well, Sands said, look, they're a dangerous 0-2 team, our Westhampton. They're showing that here through the first half and now into the second half. And you wonder where they'd be if they did have that first game, right, where it wasn't that COVID cancellation. Sands looks like he got to about the 41-yard line, pushed back there, but that forward motion gets him into positive territory on first down.
Well, if you're Westhampton, the kids who play at Westhampton, right? Your last years, you were 12-0 in 17, 10-1 in 18, 8-2 in 19, 5-2 in the shortened season last spring. I think my numbers, if they're correct, I apologize.
All of that is
if they're slightly off. But that's a lot of wins and very few losses. So, when you're playing a program like that, when you ride the bus somewhere or you walk out the back door of your school, you're kind of expecting to win, right? Or at least compete to win every game. And they're playing that way right now. I mean, Sayville's very good, but the Westhampton guys are, showing them that there's no bend there. They're playing as hard as they can go right now.
So Westhampton 0-2, which matches their total losses a year ago. And as you mentioned, you go back a year before that, they go 10-1 and then 12-0. So you've not had more than 2 losses in a season in a long time for the Hurricanes.
Sure, 5 losses in 4 years and now 2 more on top of it. It's still not many losses.
2nd and 9 for Sayville. Messina, oh man, they read that well. Did those dudes up front for Westhampton. Looked like 56 in there as well. Frankie Noto, you see him there. Noto, tight end a year ago, made that move, the unselfish move to the offensive line from tight end. This kid is going to be a baseball player at Adelphi out in Garden City, but a great defensive play there by Noto.
Well, on that jet sweep series coming there, the play side defensive end, the play side edge player is getting up the field and kind of trying to box it a little bit and slowing it down a little bit, and the pursuit gets him right there. Very good fundamental defense by Westhampton.
3rd and 10. Here is Smalley, back to pass, slings it near side. That's complete for the first down. Milo, the reception. And a big 3rd down conversion for the Golden Flashes.
Want to watch in the backfield. Look at Sands take on that blitzer. That's a great block. And we can watch the quarterback and the reception and everything, but running backs, part of your job is pass protection, right? And sometimes, that's what you got to do. When you're in an offense like this, you need pass protection. You're an extra blocker. And Sands, great pass block right there, stunning that blitzer right there.
Milo, the big reception.
Ooh,
Smalley
right
stays in. Takes a pop. That's complete. Down the sideline. Forced out of bounds at about the 14. Smalley took a shot, but he did it to make that big completion as Sayville moving like they haven't all game, really. That was Chad Mochio with the reception and the little dance down the sideline.
Great run after the catch by Mochio, but once again, Sands is just taking on those blitzers. You got to love it, Charlie Sands. First time seeing him play, I'm a fan. Sign me up.
So this is the best drive, you'd have to say, of the game, even though they did score early on. There's that pitch again. Getting to the outside and forced out there was Murtha.
You run that wide, that little, the sweep series, a little jet sweep, fly sweep, whatever you want to call it, toss sweep, however you want to describe it as. Really a pass now because you're tossing up in the air. But the defenders have to chase that play from the middle of the field to the sideline and chase. You do wear a defense out a little bit with those type of plays, and you get a couple yards and you keep them honest.
2nd and 7 from the Westhampton 14. It's now Messina back in at QB, Smalley to the bench. He's got your guy, Sands, to his right hip. Man in motion. Messina calls him hit himself, and he slips. That was a crisp cut, too, and Mike, it seemed like if he stayed on his feet, perhaps finding the end zone there. Arm tackle, too, shed that off and was just tripped up by the turf there at about the 5.
Someone had him from behind in the beginning, couldn't get him on the floor. Number 44 had a little penetration there. Jurgle couldn't get him on the floor, and you can see Messina, he's got that vision, right? That little, the first guy's really not tackling me,
1st and goal for the Golden Flashes at the 6-yard line. A lot of movement defensively for Westhampton. Messina turns, spins, and gets perhaps a yard. Pulled down there. You see Aiden McKeon, 20, senior, one of the top track kids out in Westhampton Beach. Another guy who loves the weight room, like Moreland as well. Strong kid, eager to play, is Aiden McKeon, the senior linebacker.
See if Westhampton can make a little goal line stand here and keep him out. They got 3 shots at it here, Sayville.
2nd and goal from the 5. Messina, another big block by Sands. Messina's in for the touchdown. Mike, when you see this again, you're going to see Jurgle try to come in from the top, and Sands just bury him, allowing Messina to get in the end zone for the 5-yard touchdown.
A little lead play again from Messina down there as a wildcat or a running quarterback.
Watch Sands right there.
Yep. Ball came loose at the end, but he was past the goal line. And his touchdown, that's the touchdown I think Sayville was looking for, right, to kind of break the game open a little bit.
High snap. PAT is up, and it is good. Argenziano now 9 of 10 on the season. Messina, that's the way you want to orchestrate a drive if you're Sayville. A 5-yard touchdown run for Messina, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. And yeah, you better give Sands a little little pop there, a little handshake. Charlie Sands getting the job done with the tough plays, right? The stuff you're not going to necessarily see on the stat sheet, but it helps your QB find the end zone.
That's why football is so great, Dylan. That's why it's a great game, because you need 11 guys. You need to make plays. You need guys to do things that don't come up on the stat sheet, to move the ball and score touchdowns and stop touchdowns from scoring. And that's great stuff by Sands. And he's not a big guy, Sands. He's not I list him at 5'8", 165, and he steps in there and takes guys on. Great job.
A 2nd-team All-Long Island player a year ago was Charlie Sands. The funny thing is, too, when he rushes the football, he rushes also with that intensity of wanting to make the contact. And Reed Sands, his coach / dad, says, hey, listen, Charlie, run away from the tacklers. Don't run right at him.
Got to live to fight another day, Charlie, once in a while, right?
That's not the way Charlie plays, and his brother Benny is the same way. Argenziano, that one will be fielded at the 5-yard line. The return out to the 25. So Westhampton, a team that's struggled offensively. Again, it's starting to be a little bit of an uphill battle now for the Hurricanes. And again, you got to think you've got to move the football on this drive, right? One thing you can't do is go 3 and out. Again, they had 6 points scored against Kings Park, then 14 against East Islip. but certainly a different type of opponent in Sayville here this evening.
Sure, playing at home, Sayville, pretty fired up Friday night game, Friday night lights here, right?
Great atmosphere as well.
In Sayville, great atmosphere, a little fall feel, right? People got jackets on and hoodies, and we got a little cool weather coming in. We're starting to get that fall football weather, and a little uphill battle here for Westhampton.
You always know it's a big-time atmosphere, right, when you're lined up along the fences because there's no seats left to sit in. On first down, a little rush to the outside for Westhampton, out to about the 31-yard line. Here they are. Lined up along the sideline. And that's really kind of around the field, right? That's the opposite sideline. But even around here as well on our near sideline. Packed house here out at Sayville. Got the train station across the way and on Greeley Avenue. There's Lauby to the outside, and he's stopped again. Trying to make the cut. There he is again. Your other guy, Mike. Benny Sands.
Sands are everywhere. Good plays, good high school football players, those guys. Very proud of them. Special experience getting to coach your son, right? Your sons, and pretty cool. And right now, so Westhampton, is a little bit twixt in between. I think they, obviously trying to run the plays they feel in practice they can be successful with, and not getting a lot of yardage. And now you're in a 3rd and 6, and you have to throw it. And this is where Sayville's been blitzing quite a bit.
Arisate. Sands comes, drops out of the pocket. That's actually a pretty good play. It's going to be short of the first down. The pass was complete to Spizzocco, but certainly well short of the first down marker.
Kind of not, Westhampton kind of needed, if you're Westhampton, to get one first down, rest the defensive guys who play defense a little bit, and they were chasing him again. And great catch on the sidelines, getting his feet in.
Colin Gover, 66, was the guy in pursuit. 5'11", 195, one of the captains of this Golden Flashes team, Colin Gover.
They had great defensive line and linebackers of Sayville have done a great job tonight with their blitzing and stunting, and have really had their way, much to the chagrin of the Westhampton coaching staff with the front,
So Sayville will take over, and you got to think the Golden Flashes maybe smelling a little bit of that blood in the water, right? You've got the 2-score lead now. You move the ball pretty well on that last drive. You find the end zone here, Mike, with midway through the 3rd. Now you've got a 3-score lead, and you're feeling pretty good about yourself.
I think they found a little rhythm, and a few things that worked. They had a couple pass plays that they hooked up for some yardage and some runs with Messina, and kind of had a little back and forth, some balance.
Messina in shotgun. He moves Sands to his right hip. Calls his own number, follows Sands, cuts inside at the 40, and he's pulled down at the 45-yard line.
See, there's the chess match, Dylan, right? So Sayville comes over the ball. They get a dummy cadence. They get the Westhampton guys to show that they're coming with an inside blitz with both their backers, and they check to an outside running play with Messina and kind of run around. The inside run wasn't going to work. Well, certainly wasn't there numbers-wise. They run around the corner, and Messina gets him a first down. So you can see, Sayville looking at the defense with the dummy cadence, trying to put themselves in the best play they can find.
See, Messina's 1 touchdown extends his season numbers to 3. This time the run was Bono, Matthew Bonfanti. He's pulled down at the 47-yard line.
You look here, right? Sayville doesn't huddle. They don't let the defense huddle. The defense is kind of milling around, as is typical of nowadays. When a lot of defense don't get a chance to huddle versus spread teams, and they get a play, maybe they get a dummy count again, and look at the defense again, and maybe they like what they see.
Man in motion is Murtha. Messina spins, first down and more. Oh, look at that cut by Messina. Still on his feet. He's a freshman. Kyle Messina. Touchdown, Sayville.
And the man you don't see behind the play is Sands. Another big block on the play. But what a run by Messina. All kinds of athleticism at work there.
Watch the broken tackles here, Mike.
Spin.
Here comes another one.
Little jump cut there, little slide step.
Incredible stuff from the incredible freshman, Kyle Messina.
Great balance, great athleticism. You know, not the biggest guy, but he's in ninth grade and has the physique that looks like could be a pretty big person one day in terms of when he fills it out, and has some great speed and some great moves.
21-0 is the lead for Sayville. 2:58 left in the third quarter. You're watching the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Back here at Sayville, Dylan Butler, Mike Hungford. I don't know, Mike, they're playing jump around. That's a Wisconsin thing. Jack Cohn's not there anymore. They got to play the Fighting Irish fight song.
I think Wisconsin will take him back.
Yeah, right? Cohn starting QB at Notre Dame. What a story he's been. It's been well chronicled where he made the lacrosse commitment, right? You're a lacrosse coach at Farmingdale and kind of kept on, wanted to play football, started getting all kinds of looks, went to Wisconsin, got injured, went to the transfer portal for I think about 20 minutes and found himself back at Notre Dame, back where he made his original commitment as a lacrosse player.
I think some of it speaks to, and this is just my opinion, you know, it speaks to the nature of recruiting in college football and all college sports and projections and, you know, and rankings, you know. I mean, you know, Wisconsin brings in the guy Graham Mertz, who was a very highly recruited player and, you know, very highly ranked, more highly ranked in high school than Jack Cohn was coming out of high school. And sometimes that doesn't really matter. You got to go on the field and you have to play, right? And I think, you know, Cohn's injury enabled Mertz to get on the field earlier than maybe he would have. But, you know, Mertz was kind of the guy I guess they felt like they had to play because he was the guy, right? And Jack kind of goes behind the wayside, but he's reinvented himself in Notre Dame, and he's been tremendous for a Fighting Irish team, and still hasn't lost, right? He's still undefeated.
They are still undefeated. They're taking on number 7 Cincinnati, and Jack Cohn will be under center again. Had that injury, got confirmation that he'll be back QB. I think all around Sayville, by the way, and the surrounding communities, everybody's become a Fighting Irish fan for good reason. Lauby in motion. Arisate, tough pass, and tried to find Spizzocco, incomplete.
Yeah, run that route combo of that flat and then run that skinny seam under, you know, try to get that window. Ball a little high. Good concept. You just have to get that ball down a little bit. Window did open up for him. If you live on Long Island, though, Dylan, how do you not root for Jack Cohn? You know, like, just if you like high school football on Long Island and you want to accept the fact that, you know, people sometimes say you don't have football like they have in this place and that place. We have plenty of kids playing major college football and doing a good job of it. And you got to be fans of all those kids, every last one of them. And
I think that extends as well to we showed you the graphic before, even with Dylan Lauby, right? Like, there's a place for everybody, and you can find yourself. Even look at Jack Cheshire from a year ago, right? Starting at Brockport. A very good school at that level as well.
Sure, there's always a place to play if you want to play. You have some ability and you figure it out, and good for those guys, you know. And there's also that guy at Ohio State, right? He's kind of hanging out there.
That guy, Jeremy Ruckert. Yeah, he's doing his thing. Arisate again under pressure, dumps it over the middle. That's complete. Referee, a little bit extra blocker. Spizzocco into the secondary, still on his feet, and he's forced out inside the 20.
A lot going on right there. I kind of ran that screen back right across the middle.
How about the ref? Thanks, ref. If you're Spazzocco, use them.
A little bit of that middle screen, jailbreak screen, whatever you want to call it.
Wheels, huh, for Spazzocco? Now here, if you're Westhampton, this is where your plays have really died, right? Like, you've made these big plays, but you haven't been able to convert inside the 20. Arasate back in the air. And look at the pursuit to the football. Murtha with the play.
Great play by Murtha right there. So it's 2-on-2 out there, right? I think they, were trying to get one of them blocked, but Murtha reacts to it. That ball's in the air for quite a while, and great tackle. Great tackle. Those are the kind of plays Dylan just get him on the floor, right?
That is a loss of 1. Murtha on the tackle. He came into this game with 9 tackles and an INT. Jet sweep to Lauby. Gets to the outside, pulled down. Good tackle there by Tony Contaldi, the sophomore. 13 tackles on the year this year for the sophomore safety.
Cataldi was the guy, by the way, who finished off the play before with a nice hit on the sidelines, and comes back 2 plays later and makes a really nice open field tackle on that outside sweep play.
3rd and 5. Oh, a little jump. Did he get back? He certainly flew back. Turn around. We got a live play.
Let's jump around. We need it again.
And that would have been a first down. Arasate goes right. It's complete. And forced out of bounds. Spazzocco, he's having himself a heck of a third quarter.
Yeah, good series for Spazzocco. That ball, nice well-thrown ball right there in the air. Gets there. The ball's in the air a long time. Spazzocco kind of makes the outcut, gets back onto it. 1st and goal here, right, for Westhampton.
1st and goal. You need to punch it in if you're the Hurricanes. I know that's Captain Obvious checking in, but Sayville starting to extend that lead over the middle. Good gain on first down from Moreland.
Gotta love Moreland playing both sides of the ball. Downhill runner. Every game we've done this year that we found a player like him, right? Everybody, all the teams that compete or are successful programs have guys like Moreland.
One of the captains of this Westhampton team. You see the time and some whistles. And Reed Sands calls timeout with 7 seconds left. There you see the head coach, Reed Sands for Sayville. He was forced to call that turnover, just some personnel. Maybe not the right personnel on the field.
I think they were trying to get to a goal line look there, more of a heavy package on defense and how to get people in the game.
Reed Sands, we mentioned before, 5th season as the head coach. We see his 2 sons, right? Charlie and Benny doing their thing. Mikey is a 9th grader. Sammy, his youngest son, is 11 years old. He's got a genetic disorder. He's nonverbal. It's called CDKL5. Usually kids who have that need a feeding tube. They've got trouble sleeping. Sammy doesn't have that issue, but Reed and his wife, Kerry, want to kind of shed the light on that disorder and let people know and know that you can live with it, you can deal with it, and the Sands are certainly doing that, and we wish them certainly the best of luck going forward.
Absolutely, never heard that before, and shed my eyes on it and my light on me learning about it. That's every person you can hear about it and someone else find out about it. That's a good thing.
We were also told that if we call him Ben or Benjamin Sands, that Kerry might jump through the press box and hurt us. It is Benny. It is always Benny. 2nd and goal. Now it's Arasate under center. Flips it to his left. Cutting inside. Moreland gets inside the 5. He's pulled down there. Benny Sands, 2, in on the tackle.
Yeah, kind of run wide there with the toss. You're down by the goal line, running wide is either a feast or famine type of a thing, right?
That will do it for the end of the third quarter. Westhampton trying to get themselves into the end zone. They are trailing by 3 scores. You're watching the Suffolk Division III Showdown. It's the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
We welcome you back to Sayville under the bright lights here off of Greenlee Avenue. Sayville and Westhampton, fourth quarter about to start. The Golden Flashes looking to punch in. Let's take a look at their schedules here as we have an opportunity to see Sayville 3-0 right now. Big wins over Harborfield, a tight win against Comstock. That's the team to keep an eye out for this year. Comstock, a very tough team in Division III. Kings Park as well. And now you have the Westhampton game. You see the road ahead. Circle that East Islip game. That's homecoming here for Sayville. And then you see Westhampton too. The struggle early on, but they've got a home schedule on the back end, so you expect them to maybe take some lumps. They played much better here today. You come home, you've got some games under your belt, and a chance to get some more victories for the Hurricanes. So here we go. 3rd and goal from the 4. Arasate under pressure. Arasate's got to get it loose. Arasate in the end zone. Touchdown. Lauby.
Good play by Arasate, keeping the play alive, kind of running for his wife that they put it right. And I think all the defenders started looking at him instead of trying to find open receivers in the end zone. That's something they'll definitely correct in practice, that little scramble drill, right? Yep.
All kinds of pressure there, but
great inside pressure.
Certainly the touchdown that Westhampton desperately needed.
Still in it, quarter to play, long way to go.
Especially the way they're playing defensively, right? Flags.
Dylan, really last series, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think last series was the first one that the Sayville guys really kind of like, went the distance on them a little bit, and they've had some good plays. A little false start, you have to kick it from a little further distance. Makes it a little more challenging. Going back to the schedules for a minute, Dylan, you had East Islip on there. Supposedly the beauty of the social media said that they're winning at the half over Comstock by a good margin. So it looks like East Islip is, putting themselves out there as one of the better teams in the conference.
I would say some in the know here, as that is no good. Some in the know, I'm not going to mention names, but thought maybe that's a win for Comstock or a potential win over East Islip. So Sal Champy still getting his guys to kind of be that tough running force for East Islip.
Well, the beauty of social media says 31-7 at the half. So that's a pretty good lead for East Islip. Coach Champy's crew.
Yeah. There's a good look at the guys over at Westhampton. West Islip also playing tonight at home. We're certainly happy to be out here in Suffolk County. We make the trip. We stay south, right? We head down to Oceanside tomorrow for a showdown. What a game that will be. Oceanside and Massapequa. 3 o'clock start for that one. That's also an Orland and Cone game of the week. The top 2 teams in Nassau Conference 1.
2 very good teams, Dylan. I've seen both teams play. They're both very good. And Oceanside, kind of like the known team with all those returners from last year. And Massapequa, the defending champ, with some new face on the lineup. They have some very good new faces, and should be a great game.
It's one of the fun matchups in that one. We'll break it down certainly tomorrow. How about Hossein for Oceanside against Cialino on the other side, right? Two big game, big play guys, both at wide receiver, but also as lockdown corners.
Yeah, two of the faster guys in playing football in Long Island for sure.
Fielded at the 10-yard line and pushed backwards. Westhampton is starting to feel it a little bit momentum-wise, and this a massive drive, right? Because if Westhampton can get a stop now, Mike, momentum continues to stay the way of the Hurricanes, and maybe they just start to slice away at their deficit.
Yeah, I think that Sayville's had a pretty good second half. They scored twice in the half, right? And they'll find some plays that work for them, but they'll be a little careful with the ball, no turnovers, and be smart with it, because even if you punt it away, you still up by 2 scores, right? 2 scores and an extra point. So you're in good shape. There's that dummy snap count again.
And Westhampton will call timeout. We'll actually take it with them as well. Just early goings here of the fourth quarter. You're watching the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, 3-point shot is up and in. You back them back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net.
Back here at Sayville, not Sayville High School though. I know a couple of guys on our crew, Mike, yourself included, kind of thought you were heading over to the school. That's the old field, right? Got the new field over here.
Beautiful facility.
Yes.
Great place to watch a game.
You love too on the far end zone. Got the youth football game kind of going, right? A little pickup game.
Yep, you don't got
beyond
the
the fence.
You don't got the big Little League space in some place out for the game, but they have a little bit of space. Good for them.
Messina, he is getting that extra burst, right? And you got to give credit to that offensive line, but a lot of it's also got to be Messina just continuing to move his legs. Gets taken down to the 35-yard line. A gain of 8, it seems, on first down.
Well, the great ones get stronger as the game goes on, right? We've seen a few guys this year. Our man Martini over at Wantor.
Tyler Martini, yep.
We saw from Seaford. A really nice back. I'm sorry, his name is escaping me at the moment. He got stronger as the game went on, and those kind of guys, they get better as the game goes.
Smalley in at QB as Messina gets himself a well-earned break. Smalley drops back, rifles it, and perfect pass right at the 50-yard line.
Great route, great comeback route on the outside, great delivery of the ball. When they say he's got some arm, he does have a very good arm for a high school quarterback.
Mochio, the reception, here it is again, just slings it as Mochio goes out of bounds at the 49-yard line to move the chains.
This little two-headed monster at quarterback, right? You have the running guy with the ability to throw it, but he's still, in 9th grade, but throws it well enough to make you be honest. And then the other guy comes in and he slings it.
He's almost right now like a specialist, right? Smalley, hey, we need a first down and to sling it. All right, I got you.
Well,
Nice.
you see, Sayville's got the ability to both run and pass with equal ability, and the running game seems to be picking it up right now.
And there you see the dual threat that is Kyle Messina. 128 yards in the ground, 2 touchdowns, 5 of 8, 54 yards. That's for a guy who's not a passing quarterback, right? So you love those numbers as well, passing the football. Thomas Say, nice push forward, and Say will get to, looks like about a yard short of the first down marker. Say's a good story as well, a kid who suffered a really devastating injury end of the year, broke his ankle, just now kind of getting back to his old self. Came into this game 8 carries, 26 yards, and a touchdown. A tough, hard runner with that breakaway speed, which, you know, you're starting to see that a little bit now, I would say, after that ankle injury.
Yeah, you know, Westhampton's trying to stay balanced defensively and play 3 over 2 or 2 over 1 or 4 over 3, and they're starting to cheat the box a little bit.
Third
the running game.
Third and 1. Say, look at that strength too. They tried to strip him in the backfield, spun, got out for the first down.
Yeah, that time Westhampton rotated down and had a few more men towards the box and put one high safety. And Say is a tough runner. I mean, a couple different guys can run the ball here. You know, you have the 9th grade running back playing quarterback. You bring in the Sands guy who is your blocker, runner, extraordinaire guy, tough guy, and then you have this guy 24 saying the game, and he's giving you a whole other element as well.
And they went to Bono too in a running situation earlier as well, and good problem to have if you're Reed Sands, right? Multiple athletes that you can depend on. They've moved the chains. First down. That's Murtha in motion. Messina calls his own number, and he's taken down at about the 30-yard line. We don't usually, Mike, you know, when we set up and prepare for these games and we do our impact players, a lot of times we kind of err towards the seniors, right? The leaders, the guys who have quote unquote been there before. This is the first time really in a very long time that I can remember that we highlight a freshman, but you go around and you talk to different coaches, not even just Reed Sands. You know, you talk to different coaches around Long Island and around Suffolk County, and they all sing the praises of Kyle Messina. So it's a well-earned honor, and we see, too, here through 3.5 quarters what he's done. Here he goes again. Running right, some more tough yards to get, and he's pulled down at the 28-yard line.
Very talented athlete, Messina. You can see he's got a whole, you know, not the biggest kid yet, a young guy, but, you know, mature beyond his years as an athlete and a runner, and does some really, really good things. And, you know, the opponents of Sayville opponents are going to say, wow, we got to deal with this guy for 3 more years, right? and he seems like he's got just enough ability at the quarterback position. Obviously, probably projects more as a running back and a linebacker guy, but has more than enough ability to throw certain balls well that you could use him at the quarterback whenever you wanted.
3rd and 5. There's Messina, breaks the tackle, cuts inside. First down and more. Kyle Messina to the outside. Touchdown, Sayville. Kyle Messina, another rushing touchdown.
Wow, very impressive second half by Messina. Getting stronger as the game goes on. Zone read. Defensive end bends, he pulls it. Reading that defensive end coming down, he pulls it, runs through a few tackles, and he smells that end zone, boy.
That's my favorite part of that touchdown run are the, like, 2 dudes that he trucks where, he's not sliding, right? There's no way. He's looking for the contact there, finds it, and he gets in the end zone again for another touchdown. Kyle Messina is the real deal. Another touchdown for him. 7:04 left to go in this 4th quarter. And what a day for Kyle Messina. The freshman gets some hugs on the sideline. He's got Sayville out in front of Westhampton, 28-6.
Very impressive performance here. I drove out here, hoping to see something, to see what I've heard about and see what it's all about. And there's a lot to see, that's for sure. When I heard he was going to play quarterback tonight, not play running back, I was interested to see could he play quarterback. And, Dylan, in the day and age of the shotgun and the spread offense, in the old days when kids played on the center, getting the guy to learn how to play quarterback was complicated. Getting the snap, we used to teach a clock, right, with the steps opening to certain spots to hand the ball off. It was very complicated. In the spread now, playing out of the shotgun, a good athlete could figure out how to play quarterback pretty simply, especially a good athlete of the kind of his athletic ability. You can see there in the zone read, he read it, he pulled it, ran around the corner. There was a defender there for him, didn't matter, ran around him, made guys miss. Very impressive.
There's been some very good athletes. We showed you that graphic earlier on with the quarterbacks, right? And certainly Jack Cohn, look, he's not just a Sayville great. He's a Long Island, New York State great as well. You can see what he's doing on the next level. So Messina projecting, again, such an early age, such a young kid, right? But projecting to be that next special football athlete out of Sayville.
Yeah, I don't care who you're playing against or what conference in either section of Long Island. If you're a freshman and you're competing like this, that's pretty impressive.
By the way, does he get it as a 14-year-old? I think he just hugged everyone on his offensive line on the sideline.
I think he scored a lot of touchdowns in his life so far, Dylan. He must have been a terror in youth football. I could just imagine what he looked like. I'd like to see. Someone get me a film. Love to see that.
Westhampton trying to find their way back in. That's Kaloran on the return. A good one there as well. Gets out to about the 35-yard line.
Kaloran's been a nice player tonight for Westhampton. Made some nice plays on defense and a nice kickoff return there. Comes up a little hobble there. Hopefully he's all right. That was a nice kickoff return of almost 30 yards. .6:56 to go here, Dylan. 28-6. Westhampton, this is the drive. They got to put something together and score kind of quickly. Try to move a little quicker here, and try to shorten the lead and get back in the game if it's possible.
28-6, the lead for Sayville. Really, both teams struggled. The defenses for both came up big in that first half. Fumble. Arisate's got a fall, still loose, and it's taken away. And it'll be a touchdown for Sayville. Thomas Golio, the defensive end. And that's the kind of night it is for Sayville. Fumble, recovery, touchdown for 99, Thomas Golio.
What's for Golio? A touchdown. There we go.
27 yards to the house. Golio, 5'9", 200. Reed Sands describes him as a quiet, tough kid, super feisty and tough. And quick as well. He loves having him as a DN because of his quickness. And Golio, the junior at 5'9", 200. Rumbles into the end zone for the touchdown. The PAT is up, and it's good. And you got to figure that's that big blow here for Sayville. They extend their lead to 35-6. 6:48 left in the fourth quarter. You're watching the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Let's look at the huddle there, and a lot to celebrate here tonight for Sayville. A 35-6. I like that jacket. That's a good-looking jacket. You walk around town with that jacket?
Both jackets have been cool for about 60 years, maybe more. Good stuff.
Golio. The fumble return for a touchdown. You got to wonder when Reed Sands gets his guys in to watch film if Golio's like, hey, Coach, can you run that one back again?
They were just watching it right there. I guarantee you they had the huddle sideline going, right? They got the huddle sideline. They got the screen. They're looking at it right there.
Hey, they can watch it again tonight. They can watch the replay right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Lineman's dream, Golio, right? Lineman's dream. You do those strip drills, those fumble recovery drills in practice. You do your turnover station. Yeah, Coach, I got it. I'm going to scoop and score in practice. Coach, I got it. You do a whole bunch of them. It never happens for you. It happened for Golio right there. Good for him.
So we will re-kick after the penalty.
A lot of penalties in the kicking game tonight. A lot of re-kicks and near punt blocks and turned into penalties. And
good looking re-kick, huh? Fielded at about the 8-yard line. That was Kaloran with the return.
another nice return by Kaloran. All right, Westhampton, a little bit of a tough spot here, Dylan. You know, down 35-6. You know, 6:40 to go in the game. You got to finish this one up, right? Everybody, every coach, every team's been in these spots before. Got to play it out and get something going for next week.
So Westhampton looking to take over here. Final 6:40 of this game. And a chance now you bring in some guys, right? You heard the Liam chance. That's Liam Moynihan, 72, just checked in for Sayville defensively. Handoff, new QB for Westhampton. We didn't get a chance to mention him before. That's Will Gambino, the sophomore, number 11. A 2nd and 7 for Westhampton Beach. Tell you, this is a great atmosphere here on a Friday night. They've got a great one as well. I've been out there on a Friday night before. Gambino goes in the air, looking, sideline, incomplete. Spizzocco, the intended target. Good coverage there by Morione.
You know, Dylan, I like to see when you come to these games and teams get a chance to play their second, some of their, a second group offensively and defensively. Sayville's both these football programs do a great job coaching their kids at all the different levels. That's why they're so successful in the JV and the junior high and the backups here in the varsity. You can see how well coached they are. Everyone just knows what they're doing. You know, I mean, good coverage, rotating defensively, scraping, getting off blocks.
Lauby cuts inside, pulled down about the 36-yard line. Sayville defensively has done a good job trying to contain Lauby, right? He had that one big play on a kickoff return where Westhampton in that first half had a 1st and goal from the 9, unable to punch it in. But Deegan Lauby, the senior, that jack of all trades for Westhampton. He's technically a slot receiver, but he does so much more.
Yeah, I think the challenge for Westhampton going forward halfway through the season is trying to find ways to get Deegan Lauby the ball freed up in space and get him going and do things to open up the offense a little bit.
Here's a punt that'll bounce out of bounds. So Sayville will go back on the offense. And what a not just last year, but what an era, right? The golden era here for Sayville. Look at these numbers, Mike. 6 Long Island championships, 15, a record 15 Suffolk championships. Last year they went undefeated, their 6th undefeated season. 5 Rutgers trophies, and you see last year where they beat Westhampton right here on this field. It is, you talk about towns. Are you a football town? Or it doesn't matter, right? They've got great lacrosse players here at Sayville, but when it's the fall, they play football, and they usually win a lot more than they lose out here in Sayville.
Great football town, Sayville, and undefeated last year. Beat Westhampton twice during the season, I believe, in the regular season of the championship and the shortened season. And and they also beat Floyd last year, right, in a very well publicized, kind of turned into a non-league game, right, in the spring season due to COVID. I guess one of the little sidebar benefits of what occurred last spring was the ability of some teams to play a non-league game. New York State doesn't, Nassau County and Suffolk County, we don't have non-league games built into the schedule, and they were able to play Floyd, and there was a lot of talk before the game how that would go, and the Sayville guys, beat the conference one, Power, William Floyd. And
they went there to do it as well. It wasn't here on this field. They went out to Floyd, where Paul Longo is obviously developed a, that's the team in Nassau Conference 1 for so long, right? The tradition there. Good gang tackling there. The flip went to Morion, and nobody there.
Number 54, good play right there from Westhampton. South for campaign. Nice play. If I'm saying it right, apologize. But they want the Floyd, and people don't win it Floyd very much. If you are unaware or don't keep track, Floyd loses very rarely at home. Loses very rarely at all, and they lose very rarely at home. And that was a little feather in the cap of the smaller schools, I guess. And
the shame of, there was a lot of shame with the COVID year, right, in the spring. But the real shame of it for me is that you don't have a Long Island championship. So these guys at Sayville don't get a chance then to maybe tack on, right, to the Long Island championship numbers. Good run by Byrne. He gets taken down at about the 44.
Good looking play right there. Nice run by Byrne.
Brings up a 4th and 1. You see the clock continuing to wind down.
Sayville might go for it here and just, not out of trying to score more points, but just out of to possess the ball and get to keep the clock running and end the game. Or they'll let it run down and maybe kick timeout and punt.
Burns slipped, and they'll have to turn the ball over here on downs. So Westhampton will get the ball back here with 3:05 to go. So Westhampton takes over on the Sayville 44-yard line. At this point, the Hurricane just trying, you'd think, to get something going offensively for next week. It's Gambino. You see 11 again at QB. Out of Wildcat, takes the high snap, hands off the inside rush by Ethan Farrelland, the senior, and he will get stopped at about the 42-yard line. .235 left. 2-yard gain there, so 2nd and 8. Gambino again, hands off. Run to the right. Good looking tackle there as well. Eric McFadden, the senior defensive back, in on the tackle for the Golden Flashes. 3rd and 4 for Westhampton as we approach 2 minutes left in this 4th quarter. A big second half for Sayville. They lead this one 35-6 in the final seconds of this game. Handoff again. Good cut the other way. Looking for upfield tackles. Gets them and more. 1st down run. That's an impressive run by Farrelland, the senior, 5'8", 165. We invite you to stay with us here after the game. We'll speak to our player of the game. Give you a few guesses as who that might be. Fresh set of downs. Good pursuit to the football. Looked like the first one in there was Jeremy Brett, number 5. Brett, tough, athletic, still one of those guys who's got to work on some of those little things that you need to be a varsity football player, but he's going to be there. Impressive play there by Brett. Gambino cuts it to the outside, runs towards the first down marker. Was he out before? It appears that he was. Looks like he got forced out or he danced out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. 47 seconds remaining. Sayville that much closer to improving to 4-0 on the season. And really kind of crazy when you think about it, because you go undefeated a year ago, which means that their winning streak will extend to 10 games, and they will have won 21 out of their last 22 games that they've played. Remarkable numbers. No big run here. Gang tackling for the Golden Flashes. And the first one in there was Michael Milo. Sayville less than 30 seconds away from a 4th straight win over Westhampton. The last time Westhampton defeated Sayville, you've got to go back to the 2018 season, a 43-12 win where Jared Alfano and Liam McIntyre both rushed for over 100 yards. Looks to be the final play. Gambino, it's complete and it's fumbled, and Sayville falls on the football as time expires. A huge second half for the Golden Flashes, and they win this one 35-6. They improve to 4-0 on the season. We'll take a quick break and we'll have our player of the game when we return. You're watching the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
McCarthy. He's got. He's in. Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage, and one of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
Big win for Sayville. 35-6 is your final score. As you see the guys in the end zone celebrating this big win for the Golden Flashes. They improve to 4-0 on the year. And you love what you saw from them in the second half. Just a big performance from them where, again, it was a close score. And Sayville, their team right now averaging 30.6 points per game. That number is obviously going to go up here with this 35-6 win. But they've only given up 10 points a game. And you love there, too. It's only the 6 points to Westhampton, a team that, they knocked on the door. And they had their chances and just couldn't finish in the end zone. Big one tomorrow. Out at Nassau County, we stay on the South Shore. It's Oceanside. It's Massapequa. It's such a big game. You just need one letter for each team, O and M. Top two teams in Nassau Conference won a rematch of the championship game a year ago as well. It's the Orland and Cone Game of the Week out in Nassau County, and you've got it live on the Varsity Media Sports Network. 3 o'clock start for that one. It's on YouTube. Varsity Media Sports Network, a big game tomorrow. Take another break, and we'll have our player of the game when we return. You're watching the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, 3-point shot is up and in. You back them back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net.
Back here at Sayville, Dylan Butler up here. Mike Hungerford is endeavoring to get our player of the game as, at the 8:59 train rolls in here at the train station just across the way. And what a train Kyle Messina was here today. And here's some of his fancy footwork on the day. Big performance by Kyle Messina. And we're going to have him on with us in a second. Big performance by Kyle Messina. You can call him a running quarterback, you can call him a throwing quarterback. It doesn't matter because he's come to play here today. Kyle Messina, Dylan Butler here up in the press box. Congratulations on a big win. And I guess just talk us through that second half. It was a struggle for both teams offensively in that first half, but that first drive, I think, of that second half, you guys really set the tempo and you kind of continued that going forward.
Yeah, we changed our whole game plan around. The line wasn't really executing, but coach got us from a little bit, and yeah, we changed things around.
What was the biggest change that you guys made there in the second half?
I guess just controlled violence. Like we were excited, we were hyped, but we weren't doing our job. We weren't thinking.
Kyle, you started getting some of those big bursts in the second half. We're showing that your numbers there: 22 carries, 163 yards on the ground. Got in the end zone a bunch of times. I saw at one point, and this struck me as you're being a young kid, but you're mature beyond your years. You were giving everyone on your offensive line the pound here on the sideline. I mean, you knew they were creating the holes for you, huh?
Yeah, they stepped up, definitely. I wouldn't have had any one of those yards without them. Yeah.
Kyle, Friday night under the lights here in Sayville, it's a great atmosphere. What does it mean for you to be on the field wearing that jersey in front of your hometown?
I mean, it means so much. Being a Kolar, this family has been here for so long. I've dreamed about this since I was like a water boy. I was like 4. It's unbelievable. Nothing compares to this feeling.
You're just a freshman. It's remarkable to think, what you could do going forward. I know that you're focused on the next game, right? But big things, it seems like, in front of you. There's been some guys who have worn that jersey, worn the Sayville purple, who have gone on and done really big things, and a lot of people kind of saying you might be the next guy. I
mean, yeah, it's definitely a thought, but I just want to take it one rep at a time, one practice, one game, and learn as much as I can from the seniors that come through. And, yeah, I don't really think about that too much. It's hard not to, but, yeah.
Say it with me, folks. He's a freshman. That's not a freshman answer. That's not a freshman performance. Congratulations, Kyle Messina. Big win for you and the Golden Flashes. So 35-6 is your final score. A big win for Sayville. They improved to 4-0 on the year. Westhampton falls to 0-3. That'll do it here from Sayville. I want to thank Ron Pierre and Chris Sweeney upstairs, giving us all of the camera angles. My brother from another mother, Brian Butler, directing, and Mike Hungerford, my broadcast partner. Reminding you again, your final score, 35-6 for Sayville. Join us again for our next Orland and Cone game of the week out at Oceanside tomorrow afternoon, as the Sailors take on the Chiefs of Massapequa. It's the Orland and Cone game of the week on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Good night, everyone.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.